the start list for the men's 1500 metre A race, second main event of the night. A big field in this one, big field of 14. Aidan Hobbs runs in hip number 1 for In Training, makes the trip down from Queensland, coached by John Purcell. Rob Dickinson, and more of an 800 metre specialist, but steps up here to the 1500, coached by Lindsay Watson in hip number 2. Kieran Tall, the New South Wales 3,000 metre champion, runs for Run Crew in hip number 3. Cameron Gill of Balmain, Danny Andrews' squad, runs in 4. Hamish Longworth and Ben Bishop are both Lindsay Watson athletes running for Bankstown and Sydney Uni, respectively. Finley McPhillips and James Healy, both of Kembla joggers, run in hip numbers 7 and 8. Joe Burgess was so brave here in the first milers meet, taking out the mile at 4-minute pace. See what he can do here over the 1,500 metres for Sydney University and Sean Crichton. Stefan Music of Randwick Botany will run in hip number 10. Luke Wilson of Kembla joggers in hip number 11. Sam Shield for Run Crew, part of the Benny side of the stable, runs in hip number 12. On his outside, Ben Jagger for Bankstown Athletics, also in the Run Crew coaching stable. And Kieran Rushton of Run Crew will round out a full field of 14 in the men's 1,500 metre A race. Last race of the night, the main event of the second meet of the New South Wales Milers. So off they go in the men's 1,500 metre A race. This is a good field, this good quality open field. Kieran Tall doing a JB, what JB did in the mile here at the first miles meet, and getting on his bike and getting on with it. JB running true to form as he did in the mile, and happy to go with him. Stefan Music is there as well in third, and just sitting in behind them is Cameron Gill of Balmain. So the big dogs are up there early. Little gap back then to Rob Dickinson in the Bankstown singlet, sitting about 5th back on the rail. Then a little gap back on the outside to Kieran Rushton of Run Crew, who's put his hip numbers on backwards. Then running through the first 300 in just about 43 seconds. So Kieran Tall from Joe Burgess, then Music, then Gill. Longworth, Dickinson just sitting in behind them for Bankstown. And then Hobbs, the Queensland athlete, they're in the white and red singlet. Been a big supporter of the Milers series. Through the 400 in about 57, 58 seconds. So they're really motoring here. JB gets on the front of the field, takes the lead from Tall. So JB looking to run exactly like he did in the mile here just a little bit over a month ago. He sits on the front of the field through 500, about 1:15. Then Kieran Tall and Stefan Music, and that's a leading group of 3. Aidan Hobbs then sitting in behind them, has managed to just try and hang on to the front here, but has got a gap of about 5 metres to make up. So JB for the All Whites of Sydney University, just sitting on the front of Kieran Tall for the All Blacks of Run Crew. Then comes Stefan Music. Aidan Hobbs is finally a leading pack of 3 here as they run up to the 800 metres. They were through 400 in about 57 seconds or so, and it's slowed a little bit, probably about 1:59 thereabouts through 800. So a little bit slower the second time, and it looks to be a coordinated effort here from JB and Tawley. JB just shifts out into the outside of lane 1, flicks the elbow, and Kieran Tall comes through and picks up the running for Run Crew. So the boys working together here. The guy who's getting a dream run back behind it all is Stefan Music of Run Crew, who's just sitting on the front of this field and happy to take the box seat in behind JB and Tawley, who are taking all the wind and all the work out the front. Tawley steps off and lets JB go through the 1,000 metres at 2:34. So JB back into the front of the field. Tall then sits in behind him, then Music, then the Run Crew athlete sitting in behind them on the rail. Then Cameron Gill through the bell in about 2:47, and Music hits the front for the first time in the race. One of the Run Crew athletes in behind him. And then comes Joe Burgess, who did so much of the early work. Then comes Kieran Tall, then Aidan Hobbs and Cameron Gill. So a leading pack of 5 as they head up back straight for the last time. Stefan Music is on the front of the field. If someone knows the second Run Crew athlete, someone come and tell me. Joe Burgess then in third, then Kieran Tall. Cameron Gill's working hard, and Aidan Hobbs is making the most of his trip from Queensland as they run through 200 to run. Change at the front now. Run Crew athletes managed to get ahead of Stefan Music. Then Kieran Tall. Joe Burgess did all the work. Kieran Rushton it is on the front for Run Crew. Music is coming back at him. So Rushton and Music as they come into the straight for the last time. Music's trying to fight back. Rushton's trying to go with him. Stefan Music, though, going to be too good for them in the men's 1500. Music wins it for for Randwick, then Rushton for Run Crew. Tawley and JB take a lot of credit for that result in third and fourth. Did all the work early. Then came Cameron Gill. Ben Jagger finished hard. Aidan Hobbs struggled a bit over the last 200, but put himself in the race as the rest of the field comes over the line. But some nice running there from Music and Rushton. Rushton a late entry into this race, but on the back of a strong performance in the New South Wales 3K. Didn't have a 1500 PB to speak of, but he will now. And a fine performance from Stefan Music, who ran a really good tactical race in behind Joe Burgess and Kieran Tall, both of whom should take a bow for being willing to run that quickly through the first 1,000 metres and really set up the race for Stefan Music. So well done to the boys for that. We'll bring you some confirmation of the results from the women's 1500 metre A race. Mia Tui of Sutherland in 4:44 taking out the win. Zara Warland getting over the top of Kira Tui, both running 4:45, as did Aspen Lambert for Trinity. Brooke Carson 4:46 for Illawong. Eliza Lawton of Sydney Athletics Academy 4:50. As was Wasawaska. Delphs for Sutherland 4:55. Kira Bauer of St George in 4:56, and Mabel Dukes rounded out the field in 4:57. But a fine performance there from Stefan Music in the men's 1500 metre A race, and another fine night of racing at the New South Wales Milers Series. 189 athletes tonight. A big thank you in particular to our technical officials, most of whom are off to Maitland tomorrow for the New South Wales Country Championship. So a big thank you to them and to the volunteers at Bankstown. Thank you, everyone, once again for supporting the New South Wales Milers Series. There's 3 meets to go in the series, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the rest of the series. For those racing at Country Championships, good luck to you. And we'll see you next time at the Crest. Thanks, everyone, for coming out to the second meet of the New South Wales Milers Series.